Hey, how's it going? A late check-in today, because it is actually now Sunday and this is Saturday's check-in. But for very good reason. I went up to my dad's, as I think I said on Friday's check-in. I drove up, just me and Fern, my daughter, and my sister's up here with her two daughters as well, over from Ireland. So we were here and just having a lovely time, and then decided actually we were going to stay over and there just wasn't really the chance to get out and do a video. It would have been weird. The house is, there was nowhere I could go where I could have done it privately, which is kind of generally how I like to do these videos. So I thought of it, and I was quite happy with my decision to put it off and to do it this morning. But one thing that I found that I was kind of aware of, I did have something I was going to talk about in the video, but just walking to the car where I am now to do this one, I thought of something else that was probably more relevant given the timing of this video, and that's the question that I was asked several times by my sister, by my dad, and just kind of questions I get asked by people in general when I'm having conversations with them about, just checking conversation around and saying, well, how's business? How's things going? How's the speaking business going? And obviously I haven't been following my daily videos, but I find myself being very, very honest and yet very optimistic about it as well, which is how I hope I come across in these videos, because these are really, these are the truth. These are my kind of honest reflections and thoughts and feelings. And if I had one word to sum up this year, I'd say it was frustration, which I've talked about a lot in these videos. Frustration that things haven't progressed at the speed that I would like them to have progressed, that I haven't had the successes that I would have liked to have had, that I haven't had the opportunities that I would have liked to have had, and that I feel like I have just been there so close. And if it had just been just nothing at all, then I wouldn't have been frustrating. It would have been just like, well, this ain't working, let's do something different. But because I've had these tantalizing glimmers of hope, that's where the frustrations come from, but the optimism as well. And this is when I get asked that question, I just say, well, it's been a bit of a frustrating year, it's been difficult, but I'm feeling really motivated, and I've got lots of things potentially lined up, but I'm still, not everything is absolutely 100% guaranteed yet, but this is what I'm doing. These are the options that I'm presenting. And actually what I find is the more I say that, the more I explain what I'm doing, the clearer I get in my mind of exactly what it is that I'm doing. So actually there are three parts to where I am at the moment, and to the way I'm sort of building things up. I've got the any work that comes through Diana, my speaking agent. That's one pile. It's been a fairly small pile, granted, so far this year, but who knows what 2019 will bring. But that's pot one. Pot two is the work that I go out there and generate myself, and this is more of the workshop-y presentation work rather than keynote speaking. But that is pot two, and that's the bit that I'm most in control of, and that's the bit that perhaps I've had the most frustration with, because I have been most in control, and so I'm the only person really who's to blame is the wrong word to use, but who's responsible for generating that, and I haven't been able to generate as much as I've wanted to. Maybe that's because I've been focused on the keynote stuff. Maybe that's because I've been focused, and actually this second half of the year, since September, since I've been driving this workshop-driven work that I'm putting together for these local companies. Actually, I have had some. I haven't delivered any of them, but I've had some success with getting these people, these companies, to start looking seriously at it and to think, yeah, okay, well, maybe that's something we can put on in January. So that's pot two, and then pot three is work with Camwell and other third parties. So I've only done stuff with Camwell so far. In fact, it's only been one webinar. But I've got something lined up in January, and as I've talked about in these videos before, I'm kind of excited about that relationship and about what we can achieve together. And I'm happy and busily introducing companies that get in touch with me. I'm introducing them to them as well, to Camwell, because I believe that they can do a much better strategic job in some instances. Not in all instances. There are some cases where actually what I'm doing is absolutely the right thing to do, but sometimes when the indications are that they're looking for something a lot more strategic, then that's where I bring in Camwell. So they're my 3 pots, and actually when I describe that, when I explain it, not quite in as much detail as that, but when I explain that, it just makes it a lot clearer to me as well as to what I need to be doing, and actually where that source of frustration is. As I said, I'm the one who's responsible for pot 2. That's the biggest potential pot. There's not much I can do about how much work comes across Diana's desk that she thinks is relevant for me. I've just got to keep that conversation going with her, but just got to keep on going. So anyway, that's Saturday's check-in today. I will check in for Sunday later on. We're going to drive back in an hour or so, and I'll update with any thoughts. Probably what I was going to talk about yesterday, I'll talk about today. Anyway, there's my check-in. Speak to you later. Bye for now.